In this video, which is part 6 of creating the overlapping donut chart, we're going to work on the final item, which is the rotation of these values here. That was the last part. So if we're going to scroll down here and we have our rotations here, if I change this back to 0, what will happen is that our data labels are off, and that needs to be solved. So how do we do this? Well, basically what we need to do is we need to change the rotation here. So if we're going to scroll up here, we know one thing. We have the circumference and where we can control the radius of the circle, but we need to make sure that it's being calculated properly so that this will be starting or ending here nicely. So to do this, I'm going to convert this into an angle just here above. So I'm going to say enter, and then I'm going to say a constant, say angle equals math dot pi divided by 180 degrees. So this is a default item because of pi is a half circle. And in Chart.js, the rotation starts at the very top here. But by default in the canvas API, the rotation or degree 0 is here. Well, Chart.js make it nicely that it starts at the top, but that means that we have some issues here and we need to recalculate that difference. So what I'm going to do here is the following. I'm going to say here above, and then in here what I'm going to say is constant, and we're going to reposition the angle. So we're going to say here real angle, or you can give it anything you want, or a reposition angle. And then what we will say here, this will be the value, for example in this case 0, and I'm going to extract later on this rotation value here, 0 minus 90 degrees. By doing that, it will be negative 90, which would indicate that if it starts here, negative 90 would go a quarter back to here. So how do we apply this then? We can grab this one, and in here in the circumference, we're going to make a calculation. We're going to say plus, and then in this plus, what I'm going to do here is start to deduct the angle multiplied by real angle, or deduct, sorry, add up, and then we multiply this. We make sure that this is being calculated first. Copy this, and then we're going to do that here as well. Make here a plus sign, and then we do it like that. If I save this, refresh, you can see here now we are on the right position. So what would happen if I will suddenly change my mind? I say, well, I want to have now 180. Now we have again a completely repositioning item here. So what I want to do is I want to grab this value, whatever this value is, even if this would be 111, we have no idea where it will stop, but it will automatically calculate. So what I'm going to do here, say comma, and I'm going to say here will be the config. And we could even do more specific by going to options, and then even more specific by go to rotation. Very important to note, because I'm doing this, you must have rotation in the options. Sometimes rotation is set in the data set, but of course we did it here because it will apply to every item there. So in this case, this is a must, or else it will not work, of course. So what I want to do now, we have this rotation here. I'm going to grab this value, and I'll say here, whatever the rotation value is, deduct 90 degrees of that. If I save that, refresh, now we have that working. Let's change it by making some very unpredictable number, 125, and as you can see here, it will work nicely.